Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer. Storm warnings are up in the Caribbean tonight for the first tropical storm of the season. It's the last thing anyone in Florida wanted to hear. That's where we'll begin tonight. Then we'll have these stories.
Inside a terrorist's plan to attack America and escape. I'm Richard Roth with a CBS News exclusive.
I'm Bill Whitaker. Emergency contraception gave this rape victim peace of mind. Now she gives critics a piece of her mind.
I'm Sandra Hughes. It's a creative way to squeeze into the hot housing market, interest only. But is it risky?
And why are those lines outside the ladies' room so long? I'm Sharon Alfonsi with New York's newest law.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
The Weather Bureau has been warning this could be a busy year for hurricanes, and the Weather Bureau may be right. The hurricane season officially began June 1st, just 8 days ago, and already the first tropical storm strong enough to rate a name has formed south of Cuba. The name is Arlene. It has sustained winds of 40 miles an hour, and it could hit the U.S. Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Florida this weekend. Jim Acosta's in Miami, and he's tracking the storm.
Ask anybody in the Florida Panhandle. It hardly feels like a year has passed since this happened to them. But this hurricane season's firstborn could follow in the footsteps of last season. Forecasters believe Tropical Storm Arlene will hit Cuba, the Caribbean, and Central America before moving into the Gulf. Residents from Florida to Louisiana are now being warned to stay alert. Arlene has hurricane potential, which is why, yes, they are stocking up on supplies in Alabama.
Even if it's a strong tropical storm, we would expect hurricane-force gusts. So this looks like this is going to be a significant storm.
Hang on. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
While Arlene may not come close to that fearsome foursome that battered Florida last year, the state's hard-hit West Coast remains a target.
The biggest concern is for people that might be in vulnerable housing.
If the storm dumps buckets of rain, those houses still using blue tarps as roofs will be drenched. And those leftover mountains of debris could pose a hazard if strong gusts send those remnants airborne. In South Florida, the risk is to real estate and the region's building boom. Even in Homestead, a city nearly wiped out by Hurricane Andrew 13 years ago, new subdivisions are just now replacing the old ones that still bear Andrew's scars.
But it's hard to believe when you look at all of this and you say this is Homestead.
Right, right. No, Homestead is not what I used to think of Homestead.
But Homestead being Homestead, people here know how to prepare.
And if it comes, we're ready. We have our shutters, we have our supplies, so it'll be fine.
There's a chance Arlene could become a hurricane before it comes ashore, but the big question is where? This year, forecasters are urging people to remember last year, when Florida found out predicting hurricanes is not an exact science. Bob?
When do you think they'll have a better fix, Jim, on just where this thing is going? Tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be over the next 24 hours when this storm is expected to move into the Gulf. But at that point, it's really just not an exact science. This thing really could move anywhere. And at this point, it's a guessing game.
Okay.
Bob?
Thank you very much, Jim. There may be more arrests coming in Lodi, California, where the FBI arrested 2 Pakistani Americans last weekend after learning one of them had been to a terrorist training camp in Pakistan. The FBI isn't saying much more than that, but maintains that the camp trained terrorists to kill Americans, and that there may be more people involved than the father and son now in custody. Here's John Blackstone.
With the FBI focusing an ongoing terrorist investigation on the Muslim community in Lodi, Islamic leaders met city officials today and asked for trust.
We're Americans. We're born here, and this is our country, and we're going to protect this country. At the same time, we want our civil liberties to be upheld.
The FBI believes evidence seized in raids in Lodi will lead to more than the 2 people arrested so far. Hamid Hayat and his father Umar, both American citizens, reportedly confessed involvement with a terrorist training camp in Pakistan run by al-Qaeda. If that is true, says terrorism expert Brian Jenkins, it sends a worrying signal about al-Qaeda.
They haven't retired and moved to Miami. They're still very much in business. They are determined to attack the United States.
The FBI has backed off its assertion, made in a first draft of a complaint, that Hamid Hayat was preparing to attack hospitals and food stores. It has dropped that reference, and Justice Department officials say there's no evidence Hayat was planning such attacks. So far, the only charges against the father and son are for lying to the FBI.
It's a very difficult time for him to be accused of being a terrorist when he's only charged with making a false statement.
Ronald Kessler, who's written extensively about the FBI, says agents are now more likely to arrest on minor charges and build a case later.
After 9/11, the direction of the FBI has been totally changed, so that not only are they very, very quick to pounce, but they also emphasize prevention.
Now, Hamid Hayat is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow for a bail hearing. We may get a better idea at that time just how dangerous the government believes him to be.
Well, John, why did they drop the assertion that they were aiming to do terrorist acts at stores and hospitals?
Well, the FBI explained that this went into a draft. They weren't able to back it up enough to keep it in the final affidavit that was filed, the final complaint that was filed. They've dropped that for now, but we're still looking for more details on this case.
But I guess you pointed out they've only now accused them of just lying to the agents. That's really the only thing they're going into court with now.
That's all so far. At this bail hearing tomorrow, we hope we might hear a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you very much, John. Whatever the outcome of that investigation, it is now clear that al-Qaeda was planning another major terror attack in the United States. The plot was uncovered last summer, and we now have exclusive new information about just how detailed the planning was. Richard Roth is in London, and he's been digging into this.
Described as 50 pages from the laptop of a terrorist, the information here set off a security alert that sealed off East Coast financial centers last August. These documents, made available to CBS News by a source close to the investigation that followed, show with blueprint detail what put authorities on edge. This surveillance report describes New York Citigroup Center, counting restaurants in the atrium, measuring the crowds, even timing traffic lights outside, noting 35 cars can pass by every 60 seconds.
This is not just a collection of, oh, I looked at that building and that's what I saw.
It calls the landmark skyscraper a glass house which could be devastating if attacked. Each piece of glass, it says, becomes a potential flying piece of cutthroat shrapnel.
This is a mind that has trained itself or been trained to look at these buildings in a certain way with a view to destruction.
The author calls himself Agent EAB, initials for Isa al-Britani, one of the alleged al-Qaeda aliases for this man now under arrest in London, 33-year-old Diran Barot. His British indictment calls these reconnaissance plans for an act of terrorism. They show a meticulous inspection of the New York Stock Exchange, the Prudential Plaza in New Jersey, and the IMF and World Bank in Washington. They're filled with architectural detail, in one place describing 4 columns 25 foot or 7.6 meters square with structures coated in fireproof material, which the document calls effective except for infernos such as the World Trade Center. They even describe office building toilets. Restrooms, as they're called in America, do not have fully enclosed doors. If anything is being assembled there, apparently a reference to a bomb, rest it on the toilet seat so it can't be seen.
This reconnaissance job, if you like, was being done for an operational team. It looks as though it's written for the people that are going to do the job.
According to the 9/11 Commission, Barot was sent to the U.S. in 2000 and 2001 on orders of Osama bin Laden to survey what were called economic and Jewish targets. His reports indicate he posed as a student or a tourist, photographing every building he visited. They also point to planning for attacks that wouldn't rely on airplanes and show how the terrorists could get away. More on that in our next report. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
And in Iraq today, the U.S. military said Marines arrested 19 civilian security contractors late last month and held them for 3 days after the contractors fired on Marines in the city of Fallujah. There were no casualties. 16 of the contractors were Americans who were ordered out of the country. It is unclear why they would shoot at Marines, and their employer, a North Carolina company, denies it even happened. Also in Iraq today, the military reported another Marine killed in a vehicle accident during operations west of Baghdad. Coming up, interest-only mortgages. They're a popular option for many young home buyers. Why they can be risky business is tonight's Inside Story. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes Ricky Kiefer. The life of the party, Army buddies called him the package, a tribute to his charisma and good looks. He was an outstanding mechanic and an avid fisherman. He loved spending time with his teenage son and his 6-year-old daughter. And before he was killed in an ambush, he was always giving candy to Iraqi children. He was, his mother says, a kid at heart.
Want to know a secret? Some grown-ups don't eat all their vegetables. Some adults don't start their day with breakfast. And there are even some otherwise intelligent people who don't always eat right. For all of you, there's Ensure, a source of complete balanced nutrition loaded with food, energy, and 24 vitamins and minerals. So even if you don't always eat right, you can still eat smart. Drink Ensure in 5 irresistible flavors. It's nutrition for a healthier you.
Ask me anything about cranberries. I spent most of my life knee-deep in them. I don't have time to think about retirement, so I found someone I trusted to do it for me.
Retirement and estate planning from Mutual of Omaha. Begin today.
Want hair that bends without breaking? It starts today. Try Pantene Relaxed and Natural with an amino provitamin complex for up to 99% more flexible strength in just 1 week. Pantene Relaxed and Natural.
If Sarah wants to turn a cozy moment into the right moment, I want to be ready. That's why I asked my doctor about Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet proven to not only work fast, but also work up to 36 hours. 36 hours to be the guy she can count on. 36 hours to respond to her the way I want to when the moment is right.
Cialis is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or certain alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. Erections lasting longer than 4 hours, though rare, require immediate medical help. Discuss your health status with your doctor and ask if Cialis is right for you.
Sure, it did it for me. But it's not just about me, is it?
36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. But Allegra 180 can. For people 12 and over, side effects alone may include headache, cold, or backache. Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
My doctor said I needed fiber, but Metamucil is thick and gritty. My doctor said I should take Benefiber. Benefiber has just as much fiber and never gets thick or gritty. Ask your doctor about Benefiber. For me, the choice is clear.
On the Money Watch, Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan said today there is no sign of an economic slowdown or inflation. That was good news on Wall Street. The Dow gained 26 points, the Nasdaq 16. And for anyone worried that those sky-high home prices are about to come crashing down, Greenspan had some reassuring words. He said he does not see any national bubble that's about to burst. All he sees, he said, is what he calls froth in some local markets. Despite high prices, houses have been selling at a record pace. One reason is very low mortgage interest rates and something called the interest-only mortgage. It's making homes more affordable, but there is a risk. Sandra Hughes now with the Inside Story.
Even facing 2 years of major remodeling, Mike McGurr couldn't be happier with his new Napa Valley home. But like so many Californians, he had to take a leap of faith to finance this property, buying it with an interest-only loan. Could you have afforded this house and to fix it up without doing your creative financing?
No. I wouldn't have done it if I couldn't have gotten such low monthly payments.
The payments are so low because interest-only loans are just that, interest only for the first 3 to 5 years. But then the principal kicks in and payments can double. Mike McGurr says he doesn't plan to hold on to the loan for long.
I could refinance at any time. So when I'm done with the renovation and when I see what the interest rates are doing, I'll make a decision as to whether I'm going to refinance then or refinance later.
McGurr and others are gambling that rates won't go up. But because almost all of these loans have adjustable rates, when the principal kicks in, it can be an expensive wager. Still, for half of last year, 63% of home loans were interest only. And in Northern California, where McGurr lives, 70% of homes sold this year were financed to pay only interest. At $660,000, Mike McGurr's 800-square-foot fixer-upper is indicative of what's fueling all this creative financing.
It's very difficult to get into this market. I think our starter homes in this area are probably running, well, more than $500,000.
When Sue Thomas started selling homes 20 years ago, all a home buyer could get was a 15 or 30-year fixed-rate loan.
We have a lot of 100% financing options. We have a lot of programs that require as little as 5% down.
Financing like that has everyone talking about a housing bubble, fearing that as interest rates creep back up, people are going to end up with payments they can't afford on houses worth less than they paid for them. Mike McGurr thinks he's only taking a small risk.
Have faith in yourself and in the marketplace that real estate is going to outpace interest rate increases.
By the time he refinances, he's betting his Hilltop fixer will be a $1 million-plus mansion. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Calistoga, California.
The price tag for the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal in this country just keeps going up. An Associated Press report today says settlements with victims have now cost the church more than $1 billion. And just today, the Vatican defrocked 6 Boston priests accused of abusing children. Just ahead, some states offer the so-called morning after pill to victims of rape, but that could soon change. Eye on America is next.
Why go so far as to equip a sedan with a smoother riding double wishbone front suspension, 235 horsepower V6, and electronic stability control? Because instead of cutting corners, we'd rather take them. The all-new, highly agile 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
They have big hearts, big personalities, big friends, and big egos. But they have small mouths. So we created a new food just for them. Introducing Pedigree Small Breed with smaller, easier to crunch kibble and everything else small dogs need.
My doctor said I needed fiber, but Metamucil is thick and gritty. My doctor said I should take Benefiber. Benefiber has just as much fiber and never gets thick or gritty. Ask your doctor about Benefiber. For me, the choice is clear.
Arthritis pain can make people say goodbye to little things they love. Unless they've heard the good news about Aleve. Only 2 Aleve are safe and strong enough to stop arthritis pain all day. That would take 8 Tylenol. Ask your doctor the good news about Aleve.
Why wait? Why wait? Osteoporosis. Easy to ignore, but it could be there, even if you don't look, feel, or act your age. Fortunately, you can do something about it. Bone loss can be reversed. Fosamax is a hormone-free tablet for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. In 10 years of clinical research, Fosamax has been proven to help reverse bone loss. And Fosamax helps prevent fractures of both the hip and spine. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are not able to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease, or low blood calcium. Before use, talk to your doctor if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and call your doctor right away if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
I'm not putting it off a minute longer.
Talk to your doctor about Fosamax, because bone loss can be reversed.
Rick was a troubled kid with a long rap sheet. until he found a special home and a friend named Domino.
What was it like coming here?
It was like heaven.
Tomorrow, training wild horses, saving wild kids. Is it working? Rick will tell you. Eye on America on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust.
The government will consider some new restrictions on popular off-road vehicles. With rising numbers of deaths and injuries among young drivers of all-terrain vehicles, the chairman of the Consumer Product Safety Commission has just reversed course. He's ordering his staff to review possible regulations to improve safety. Some consumer groups want to ban ATVs for anyone under 16. When a woman is raped, 6 states now require that the victim be offered emergency contraception, and 14 other states have considered similar laws this year. But there's also growing debate now about whether to limit that option. Bill Whitaker reports in tonight's Eye on America.
Laurie Robinson is a survivor.
When I got to my front doorstep, I saw the barrel of a gun pointed at my head. I was rushed up to my apartment, and I was blindfolded and gagged with duct tape and tied face down to my bed, and I was raped by 2 strangers.
She feared disease, emotional collapse, but not pregnancy. The hospital in Washington, D.C. offered her emergency contraception.
What did it mean to you to be told about the emergency contraception?
In that time of total devastation, it was a relief.
But not a right.
Members, what's at stake here?
When a victim of sexual assault...
Because these days, emergency contraception has become embroiled in the bitter politics of abortion. Now, there's some confusion over just what emergency contraception is. It is not RU-486, the pill which can cause an abortion early in a pregnancy. Emergency contraception, also known as the morning after pill, if taken shortly after a rape, actually can prevent a pregnancy. In Colorado, a measure that would have required hospitals to offer emergency contraception to rape victims was vetoed by the governor.
Governor Owens, you turned your back on rape victims.
But he was strongly supported by the Catholic Church, which calls it tantamount to abortion.
If ovulation has occurred, there's a potential for a new life in that woman, and so then the church's responsibility is to protect both the woman and the new baby.
The federal government is siding squarely with religious conservatives. Dr. Michael Weaver helped draft national guidelines for rape victims which strongly recommended offering the morning after pill. But when the Justice Department released the final version, all mention of emergency contraception had been removed.
If indeed this prevents an unwanted pregnancy, then that subsequently prevents abortions down the line.
Some 25,000 women become pregnant from rape each year. To this rape survivor, there is no debate.
How dare someone tell me what's best?
But for many physicians and hospitals, it's a moral issue.
I think that it's not their decision to make.
Right now, that depends on where a rape occurs. In Los Angeles, I'm Bill Whitaker for Eye on America.
And for the first time in its 25-year history, Mothers Against Drunk Driving has elected a man to be its new president. Glenn Birch of Florida will take the post next month. He's been active in the group since 1988 when his 21-month-old son was killed by a drunk driver. Still to come, good news for the women of New York City. That long line you've been standing in is about to get shorter.
Metamucil presents The Regulars.
Bob, Fred, Jack. Bob, Fred, Jack. Bob, Fred, Jack.
If you want to be one of the regulars,
Bob, Fred, Jack.
Take Metamucil Daily Fiber every day to stay regular the natural way.
Edgar, that you'll take the voice of this lovely woman.
Mrs. Trump?
And put it into this
Why?
To tell the world the benefits of Affleck with sex appeal.
Brilliant, sir.
I know. Now throw the switch.
If you're hurt and can't work, Affleck can help pay your bills with cash.
Genius! And her? Affleck!
scoop away cat litter, clumped so tight. It only takes one scoop. Scoop away. One scoop. Done.
Cholesterol comes from two sources. It's not only from that foot-long Frank, but from your Grandpa Frank. And not just from that Virginia ham, but from your Aunt Ginny, too. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the two sources of cholesterol, food and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the two sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
Got an itch? Scratching tears up skin. Maximum Strength Lidocaine saves your skin from scratching with maximum anti-itch medicine and antibacterial to help kill germs. Lidocaine stops the itch, saves your skin.
Tomorrow, is it possible to manage stress and create a healthier lifestyle? We'll show you how to put mind over matter for a healthier you on The Early Show.
And finally tonight, as promised, some good news, at least for the women of New York City. Your long wait is over. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
A new law in New York is offering the coffee-clutching, cocktail-swirling women of the city a little relief. New buildings and renovated ones will now need 2 stalls for women for every 1 provided for the men. It's supposed to put an end to the long line at the women's room and to embarrassing potty crashing.
I've crashed many, many men's rooms in my time, and it ain't pretty. Look at this, Tony Soprano's retarded cousin.
Comedian Lisa Lampanelli's years on the nightclub circuit taught her the secrets behind the ladies' room door. Men, listen up.
First of all, women, as you know, always go to the bathroom in pairs, and men don't know that there's a seesaw in there. That's why we do it.
That makes as much sense as anything else to most men who just don't get what takes women so long.
Like, guys, there's a rule. You never talk to one another while you're taking care of that type of personal function.
It was like a eureka moment.
New York City Councilwoman Yvette Clarke came up with the legislation while stuck in a bathroom line.
Do you really need a law for this? You know, it's unfortunate that we did. This has to do with the quality of life for women. And for so long, it's just been taken for granted. We've been conditioned to stand up in line.
12 other cities already have similar laws on the books. But some New Yorkers say the mayor's measure is just a sign of a bloated government.
Thank God he's not wasting his time, you know, with those little things like poverty and fixing the schools.
And not everyone's convinced more facilities will ease the strain.
I don't think it's going to solve the problem. I think that there's always going to be a long line at the ladies' room.
Women take time, and as long as they do, even the toughest law may not save them from waiting in potty purgatory. Sharon Alfonsi, CBS News, New York.
I learn something every night I do this job. I'm Bob Schieffer. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, bringing your community jobs, low prices, and support for neighborhood programs. Training wild horses, saving wild kids. Eye on America. Tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
During our Race for the Record sales event, Kendall Toyota offers 4 ways to save thousands of dollars. 1. New 05 Sienna or new 05 Highlander, your choice. Sign and drive with 0 down, $279 a month. 2. New 05 4Runner or new 05 Tundra, your choice. Sign and drive with 0 down, $289 a month. 3. Buy a new 05 Corolla or new 05 Camry, your choice, with financing as low as 1.9%. 4. Or make no payments till 06. Only at Kendall Toyota.
Watch the